What's up, y'all? You are rocking with Shay Renee, and today we're going to talk about Porsha's family matters. And Porsha might be going to jail because you can't keep putting your hands on people and think you're going to keep getting away with this, ma'am. Lord, this episode was a mess. Let's get into it, shall we? All right, y'all. So the episode starts out with the meditation session. And of course, yet again, no, this is yoga. So they had meditation last time that Porsha didn't show her ass up for. Then they had yoga that she didn't show up for today. So everybody comes except her. And it just starts to look like, really, why are they having this trip? You're supposed to be doing all this meditating and working together and working on yourself individually so that everybody can come together as a collective for all of these things to work. So after the yoga session was over, Dennis sat Lauren, her sister, and Lauren, the assistant, down along with Dom and say, you know what, Porsha and I, when we were together, we pretty much wanted to bond all of our friends. Y'all her friends, so y'all was my friends. But I realized we're not friends, so I just want to make sure that y'all understand, you know, I'm still, willing to, really want to be a part of this family and all this, that, and the other, basically like going into how he wants to move forward or whatever the case may be. So then somehow they end up discussing how he says that they need to start holding Porsha accountable. Basically, like, y'all not saying nothing to her. She's not showing up to none of these events. She's the one that's basically supposed to be the head of the family, so on and so forth. And she's supposed to be basically spearheading all these things, but she's not even showing up and she's not doing the work. So Lauren begins to discuss, the fact that yes, she understands that Porsha is not participating and that she really does need to start actively being a part of what she wanted to create as this merging family. And nobody can merge if her ass ain't even a part of the merging of it all. So Lauren says she in her confessional that she corrects Porsha in private, but she realizes that she needs to correct Porsha in public a bit more because Porsha basically can be delusional. She thinks that there's nothing wrong with her and it's everybody else that needs to be fixed, when in actuality, she need to get her life. Happy New Year to you as well, Emma. Happy New Year to everybody, by the way. I haven't done any videos since last year, which was a couple days ago. But anyway, it's been about a week or so since I've done any videos. But Happy New Year to everybody. And thank you so much for watching. And thank you, Emma, for always being a consistent viewer. I really appreciate you. So yeah, y'all. So and then they also go into discussing how Dom told Porsha that Dennis was basically cheating. So they talk more about that later on in the episode. But that kind of comes up. And then Lauren, the assistant, says she wants to know why Simon's first 3 marriages didn't work. And then Dennis tells them about Simon and the moving company. He's like, yeah, well, Porsha, if it's not working out, she better watch out for Simon. This is between us. This ain't for you to go back and tell her. But yeah, homeboy got a moving company on tuck so that when he done with these chicks, he like, listen, get your stuff and get on because I ain't got time. So he was like, she need to really be worried about that. So moving right along, in the next scene, Porsha comes into Lauren's room to further be delusional. What we got over here? Comments coming in. Porsha is full of it. Porsha doesn't care about nobody but herself and money. Absolutely. She is full of all the shit in America. And this episode really showed me a lot about her. And she really irritated me. And this scene with her and Lauren really put a lot of things into perspective. I think Lauren really sees the stuff that Porsha does. Lauren sees through Porsha's bullshit. And I think that Lauren has this forever stone cold face on, like, with Porsha, like, you know what, I gotta sit through and listen to her and all these things, but I gotta try to make sense of her foolishness. And Lauren pretty much called her out on not participating in anything. She's like, You are the one that want to create this blended family, but you're not blending anything but your bullshit. You're not showing up to anything. You're not actively being a part of the healing. You are here and talking about everybody else but yourself. The whole time that Porsha was sitting there, she's talking about Mama Gina. And I think Portia's problem with Mama Gina is that she ain't going to control Mama Gina. And she wants Mama Gina to bash her own son. Here's the thing. Newsflash, Porsha. Mama Gina isn't going to kiss your ass. That's her son. Like, what is wrong with you? She's not going to ever sit up there and choose you over her son. It doesn't make any sense what you're requesting. And you're pissed off to a high level of pissivity because you can't get that through your thick head. And you want her to somehow apologize to you for not diming out her son and not being on your side. I don't understand it all. And you are like really mad at this lady. And I feel like you are misplacing your anger. You need to go to therapy and really get over Dennis. Because at this point, I don't know if Porsha really wants to be with Dennis, but she highly resents Dennis for some reason. It's like she don't want him, but she don't want him to be with nobody else. Because she tries to play and say, oh, I don't really care if he had somebody else. Here it's just, this is my family event, which I understand. I'm like, dag, Dennis, you couldn't have a chick. You couldn't like lead a chick home for 4 days, but whatever. But if he decides to bring a chick around, he can bring a chick around because hello, he is single. It is what it is. Like, you don't have nothing to do with that man's dipstick anymore. Okay. You in the room with your own penis. You ain't got time to be worrying about that. What we got, Emma? Porsha never takes accountability for her wrongdoing. Porsha always blames someone else for her wrongdoing. People need to stop making excuses for Porsha when they know Porsha is wrong. Exactly. Like, I don't understand why everybody kisses Porsha's ass. She not paying all their bills. And I know she got a little bit of coin, but she ain't got that much where she passing the cash around the whole family. So anyway, she talks about not being able to move forward with Mama Gina. And Lauren says, we aren't trying to change Mama Gina. And all Porsha talks about is other people changing, but not her changing. And Lauren says Porsha is not opening up or being transparent. And then Lauren brings up her basically talks about the not participating. And Lauren says her ability to open up shouldn't be contingent on what other people are doing. And for me, I totally understand and totally agree with what Lauren is saying. Because at the end of the day, she's more focused on what everybody else is doing and what everybody else is saying and how everybody is. If anybody that has anything remotely against her, she's against them, and they are the ones that need the fixing because they haven't fallen into the Porsha Williams sunken place where everybody kissing her ass. And here's my thing. You are never right, Porsha. Like, why would I follow you blindly? And you blind as hell. You Stevie Wonder with yours. So why the hell is anybody listening to anything that you have to say? You need to work on your damn self because here's what it's giving. It's giving 12-year-old child throwing a tantrum because I'm not getting what I want and everybody's not doing what I say. That's what it's giving. And you're a 40-year-old woman. You have got to grow up. It's really PJ seems more mature than you at this point. And I really feel like Porsha need to get herself together because you're out here just looking real crazy in these streets. And it's really sad that you just mad at this boy's mama. Porsha mad at Gina because Gina hold Porsha accountable for her. Exactly. Mama Gina don't need Porsha. Porsha doesn't provide anything for Mama Gina. They already got their own money. So Mama Gina is not going to kiss her ass. Mama Gina doesn't care that Porsha is on the Real Housewives of Atlanta or Porsha got her own show or she on Dish Nation and all this other stuff. Nobody cares about. She doesn't care about that. She has her own shit going. So she doesn't need Porsha and she doesn't need her approval either. Because at the end of the day, PJ is always going to be her granddaughter. She don't need to deal with her to see her granddaughter. So I think that's why Porsha has a problem with Mama Gina because she got her own opinions. And unlike most of the people in her family, she not kissing her ass. So she talks about Porsha feels like, so Lauren says you need to work on yourself. You need to fix your damn self because you're so worried about everybody else. But you're not focusing on you. And you can't fix anything with anybody else if you don't fix you. And she says, well, I feel like I'm fixed. That's the problem right there. That's the number one reason why you need a therapist on speed dial, because you're delusional. You are living in this la la land where you think that everything that you do makes sense and that is right. And you are dead wrong most of the time. Like, I really honestly am looking at Porsha's interactions throughout this episode, and I'm looking at, I thought the issue was Simon or the way that they got together. But I'm really looking at it like, damn, Simon, you might need to run for the damn hills. I feel like Dennis dodged a bullet, and I feel like Simon need to go because he probably, I don't think that he has enough to, Porsha is looking for somebody to fix, to, she it's like she lives in a Disney movie forever in her head where everything is perfect, everything comes out amazing, and there's just this happy ending for everything, and everything is supposed to fall in line, and she's Cinderella with the glass slipper, and she's the one that everybody needs to bow down to in the end. And that's just not reality. This is the real world, sister girl, and you need to get in it and get with it. Here we got another comment. Portia's sister is telling her the truth. Absolutely. I feel like honestly Lauren should be more honest with her more often, because Lauren is very mature, and it seems like Porsha, well, not seems like, and Porsha is definitely not. For Porsha to be the older sister, you would think Lauren was the oldest, because Porsha is at this point looking very ditzy and dumb, very unaware, very just very not in line with what a 40-year-old woman should have as far as a mindset, goals, drive, being able to communicate with people properly, just being a freaking grown up. Like, I don't understand where this girl gets all this from. So then she also pissed me off because she starts to deflect, and she starts to cry. So this is where she tries to get sympathy. So she's like, and I remember when my mom couldn't even cross Lisa and my dad's threshold, and I had to be with my mom all week, and then I was just thrown into the, first of all, at least your father had a relationship with you. Your father didn't abuse you. Your father loved you. Your father was there for you. So what you're not about to do is sit here and make Lauren feel bad because she had a two-parent home and you didn't. I don't understand what type of co-parenting you wanted your parents to do. Your mother was able to freely come and drop you off whenever, it seems like. And it seems like the stepmom accepted you and didn't treat you bad. So what the fuck are you talking about? Like, y'all parents didn't need to like hang out and be lovey-dovey and do all this, that, and the third. As long as you had access to that side of the family, which is your other half, not your mama's, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I wasn't there when she grew up, but your father wasn't abusive. Apparently, he loved you. You have a good relationship with your sister, obviously. The stepmom seems to have a good relationship with you. What more did you freaking want? And it doesn't seem like your mother wanted to be all up in their Kool-Aid. So I don't know. I don't understand. I think that you're trying to create some scenario that is not realistic for the other parties involved. So moving right along. Here we go. More comments. Porsha lives in a dreamland. Porsha needs to grow up. Porsha is very childish. Absolutely. Porsha loves playing like she's innocent when she's not innocent at all. Exactly. She is not innocent at all. And she is the deflection queen. I've never seen somebody that is never accountable for anything they do. It's always somebody else's fault. And that's very unattractive. That's not going to help for problem solving in relationships. And she has a hard time. She has bad communication skills. If you don't have your lips suction cupped to her ass, she don't want to hear nothing that you have to say. I wouldn't want to be around nobody like that because that person is dangerous. So in the next scene, Londi, Dom, Lauren, and Dennis get on the bus to go tequila tasting. So Lauren was basically like, I can't have everybody just doing work the entire time. We have to do something that's fun. So they get on the bus, and immediately Dom is like, they make up this name for the girl that Dennis brought and call her Thang Thang. Then they talk about Darlene and her outbursts and all this, that, and the third. And they do a rendition of Stormy and Darlene, and they're like, "So are you and Porsha really over?" And Dennis kind of makes a comment of like, "Well, it's only been a couple of months," or whatever the case may be. But I'm just like, why are we still talking about that? She has a whole new man here. He got a whole new chick here. Let's just move on and talk about what really needs to be talked about, which is how y'all gonna coexist with with your little baby PJ. Like, that's all that y'all really need to be talking about, because trying to salvage how it happened, how it didn't happen, what's going to happen, all this, that, and the third, it is what it is at this point. So they get to the place where they do the tequila tasting, and then it basically comes up about Dennis asks, "Is Porsha pregnant?" And everybody in the media have been asking about that anyway, because she's been wearing these damn muumuus and these big ass schmucks. So people are thinking she was hiding a pregnancy. So Lauren says, "No, I know she's not pregnant because she peed on the stick." Here's my thing. If you don't know this man that well, why are you raw dogging? So you taking raw dick on the second night, because apparently she fucked Simon the second day they were together. So, ma'am, this is a cesspool for either Planned Parenthood or STD testing. I don't understand. Why are you opening your Amazon to all these men so easily and so freely? It's given disgusting and stank. So moving right along, when they also talk about they discuss whether or not Porsha is pregnant. Then Dennis asks Londi, why does Porsha treat her so bad? And Londi basically says, simply put, because I'm not gonna kiss her ass. Everybody around Porsha basically works for her, so they kissing her ass, or trying to be like her, like Stormy, or just basically looking for clout. So they all kissing her ass because of that. And Londi is like, "I'm not about to do that. Like, I got my own shit, I got my own house, I got my own car, two jobs, work hard. You a bad broad." Like, she ain't worrying about working around Porsha to get clout. She got her own shit going, and good for her, because nobody needs to kiss Porsha's ass to get any type of status, so to speak. She's not paying you. She's not helping you to do anything. Yes, she's designed a couple of events for her, but Londi's skills are going to take her far beyond anything that Porsha could provide for her. So moving right along, Dom asked Dennis, "What's the real beef with him and Storm?" And then Dennis talks about how Storm is always lying. She said no one throws her parties, but he threw her 21st birthday party at one of his clubs. And then he said Dom was like, "Well, you never tried to holler at Storm." And Dennis was like, "No, I ain't never tried to holler at Storm. She's a kid or whatever." And Dom was like, "Well, she was 18, 19. She was basically legal. So she was a grown up." And then Lauren says she feels like, okay, so they brush past that, and Dennis goes back into talking about how Storm had a bad attitude. That's why he fired her. She always talking shit, which clearly we can see that she does have a bad attitude. And I wouldn't want her working at any of my establishments either, because she is very unprofessional. Then Lauren the assistant says she feels like Porsha brushes things under the rug and never deals with her feelings. And Dennis says, "Let's toast to Lauren getting fired, because when Porsha hear that, she ain't gonna be working for Porsha no more." So basically saying that if you don't agree with Porsha or you say anything remotely against her, your ass is grass, which is very fucked up as an individual if that's what Porsha does. Then Dennis calls Dom an op, basically saying that, he told on him to Porsha about, apparently, so the chick that Dennis cheated on Porsha with, she ended up working at one of his restaurants. Now, Dennis tried to say, "I got 600 employees. How did I know she worked there?" Dennis, let's stop playing around, sir. Listen, I'm on your side. I really am. And I like you, but you're fucking lying. You knew that this bitch worked here, okay? You at the end, Porsha actually said you rehired the girl. So apparently she must have worked there before and you brought her back. So you were fucking this girl. Apparently you like to fuck your staff members, and I hope that's not a part of the job application. But anyway, whatever you do with your business, that's cool. You seem like you're a good businessman. But if your dick is a part of my pay, I don't want it. Just make all my pay green. And that's that on that. So moving right along, Dom says that he told Porsha because he went to one of Dennis's clubs and he saw that the chick was working there. So he went back and told Lauren, and he tried to make it seem like Lauren was the one that told Porsha. Then in the midst of him talking, he admits that he told Porsha, which we find out later on that he told Lauren, and Lauren told his ass not to say nothing because Dennis and Porsha were in a good space. And she was like, we don't even need to get in the middle of that. Just let it go. They are doing good. It don't matter that the girl working there. If he said he ain't fucking with her no more, let's just move on. But Dom kissing Portia's ass, I guess, felt like, ooh, let me go back and give her this morsel of information so I can look even more loyal to kissing her ass. And that's what that did. So anyway, Dennis said he didn't know. He basically goes into saying he didn't know the chick was working there. And then apparently Dom also went and told Porsha. Dom says if there was never a bitch, there would be no snitch. So I guess he's a poet and didn't even know it because he coming up with all these little quips. Then they talk about Dennis firing Londi because she apparently was his assistant for some time. And then Dennis says, well, Porsha told me to fire you. So I'm wondering why the hell Porsha told him to fire Londi. I'm like, damn, you hate that girl that much because she won't kiss your ass? You really are delusional. Like, I don't understand where Porsha gets this mindset. And she really needs some help at this point. I used to love Porsha, but after watching this show and after seeing what happened with Simon before the show even started, like, you are very untrustworthy, man. You're not a good friend. You're obviously not a good family member. You're not a good girlfriend. It's everything got to be about you and centered around you. And that's sick. That's some serious, you living in la la land and you are a serious narcissist. You need to get yourself together. So then they show Porsha, Simon, Storm, and Lauren, her sister, going ATVing, which was boring. Porsha broke a nail, whatever, the end. So at the end, where everybody meets for dinner, they discuss the activities. And then Dom brings up at the tequila tasting, they basically played truth or dare or whatever the case may be. So Porsha is intrigued and she's like, oh, what y'all talk about? What was going on? What was said? And so basically it comes out that Lauren told Dom not to tell Porsha about the girl working for Dennis because it wasn't worth it. And did and didn't and shouldn't have said nothing. Okay. So Mama Gina chimes in. She keeps chiming in saying, you just need to get over it. That's old and we need to move on. That's so childish, constantly going back in the past. Like, you just need to grow up, just chiming in. And Dennis is like, Mom, be quiet. Like, don't say nothing. Like, this is not your business. Chill out. So then Stormy starts chiming in, which I don't know why the fuck she talking. She's like, ugh, you need to tell your son to shut up. And, all this, that, and the third. And then Dennis gets mad because he's like, why the fuck is Stormy talking? Like, nobody is talking to her. Dom is saying something. Porsha is like, why are y'all telling Dom to be quiet? Because people were telling Dom to be quiet because apparently he was making things escalate as well. Porsha's like, why y'all telling Dom to be quiet? You need to be telling Dennis to be quiet. I'm like, oh my gosh, girl. What the fuck is going on? So anyway, Porsha gets up and she's calling security. She's like, security, get Dennis, his mom, and his sluts out of here. First of all, why are you, his broad is not even here. Why are you talking about her? Why is she even a part of this conversation? She ain't did nothing to you. You ain't seen her. She ain't here to defend herself. Why are you talking about her? Because you obviously are worried about her. And you're mad that Mama Gina wasn't mad that he had a chick there. So I saw at the end where Dennis is like, come on, Mom, let's go, whatever. And Porsha is telling Dennis to shut the fuck up. And she's like, you're not going to keep telling my cousin to shut the fuck up. And da-da-da-da. I'm like, why are you so mad? Like, this girl is attacking Dennis. Like, why aren't you telling your cousin to shut the fuck up already? Like, she is in the middle of something that didn't even have anything to do with her. She wasn't even there. So then you can see, which I wish I had to put the video up here so I could have played it and stopped it. I have it on my phone, but I was like, let me just get this review out. But anyway, you can see at the end, Dennis was not close to Porsha. He's standing next to Simon. Simon's like, you know what? Just go ahead and get out of here. We'll talk about this tomorrow and smooth this over. Which Simon is a grown ass man. He like, I ain't about to, this is real ghetto and I ain't got time for this shit. So it looks like Porsha put her hands on Dennis' mama. So Dennis is trying to pull his mama back. Porsha seems like she gets mad that Dennis is intervening. So then she starts trying to hit Dennis. I'm like, girl, you think you Muhammad Ali? You about to get your ass whooped. Like, you need to, why are you trying to put your hands on this boy's mama? This man's mama. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? That is an older woman. You need to respect your elders. And I don't care what that lady says. You don't put your fucking hands on nobody's mama. And at the end of the day, I feel like Porsha is just so angry because, number one, she hasn't really fully dealt with the fact that Dennis cheated on her. And it may be in part because Dennis, even at the tequila tasting, he's like, yeah, I cheated on her. And everybody's like, you know, well, you haven't really admitted and owned up to it and basically said that you were wrong about it. And he's just basically like, listen, we're not together anymore. It happened. Why are we still talking about it or whatever? Which at the end of the day, Dennis, you did wrong that girl. And you need to own your shit and say, you know what? I feel bad. I should have never did it. Whatever the case may be. But we have both since moved on. I want you to be happy, you know, whatever. And I feel like that way bygones can be bygones. People can move on. And I think that this cheating situation is just taking up way too much airtime than it should. And it's built up a anger and resentment inside of Porsha that she needs to handle. Because as a grown-ass woman that's 40 years old, well, at this point, I guess she just turned 40 this year, but you're a 40-year-old woman acting so fucking childish. Like, yes, he cheated on you, girl, but get the fuck over it. Like, I don't want to hear about Dennis cheating on you no more. And at the end of the day, if you had to put your hands on my mama, yeah, you'd have had some hell to pay. I don't even know how he's still around you. And then you try to do all this capping on Instagram recently, talking about, it's just unforgivable what Dennis did. What? You put your hands on his mama. Why don't you ever look at the things that you do? Even Simon, mind you, you can tell that it's not Dennis putting his hands on Porsha, because if Dennis was putting his hands on Porsha, Simon was right there. He probably would have clocked Dennis. Well, he should if that's his girl and he sees him putting his hands on her. But we can clearly see that's not the case. Porsha is leaning to the left, like her body is turned as if she is trying to attack Mama Gina. I guess because Mama Gina was talking and she didn't want to hear her talk no more. So she was going to put her hands on her. And you have to learn how to control yourself. That's somebody's mama. That's an older woman. Shame on you. You should be ashamed of yourself. And you look real immature and stupid all over him telling Stormy to shut the fuck up, who in fact needed to shut the fuck up. I don't know, y'all. Porsha looking real bad. I don't know what this show is going to do for her. I really don't know how you can go into a second season of this turmoil and foolishness. But Dennis is coming out looking like King Dangling up in this camp. Okay, him and his mama and Lauren are the real MVPs of this show right about now. And Porsha and Simon just looking like normal cast members that just showed up for the casting call. So anyway, y'all, let's just see how next week goes. Yeah, this show is real interesting, and I can't wait to see how next week looks and how she gonna try to spin this to try to make herself look like a normal person, but in actuality, you look like a spoiled ass bitch. That's stupid. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year, all that good stuff. I hope that 2022 brings you everything that you want and more, and hopefully it brings you back to my channel some more. So please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.